Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I cannot say this enough. I love unique video ideas, different ideas, trying new things. It's been years since I put out a community-choiced, well-researched buff for a champion that should be way better than they are. But that's exactly what we did this week with Doctor Strange. And yes, some of you told me you still like Doctor Strange as is. I would argue that those of you who told me that didn't see him before patch 12.0 when he was a god and should still be an OP god, just like Magneto has turned back into. But in this video, we've got a Purgatory revamp submitted by XstinkShun. Spelled out instead of extinction, XstinkShun. Purgatory initially intrigued him with the new power gain and soul mechanics, but she turned out to be a stylish mystic champ lacking basic power and buff control. Hope this fixes it. One thing I already love about this buff typed up idea is it looks like it was typed up in like an OG typewriter, which is quite fascinating. So you can see everything from PI to attack to HP. Other stats remain the same. Purgatory gains 4,000 energy resistance, immune to bleed, incinerate, and power burn effects. All attacks deal energy damage. Gain a bar of power over 9 seconds. Gain 2% of a bar of power while striking an opponent or while getting struck. When a bar of power is reached, 75% chance to activate demonic rage for 5 seconds. I love things like a 75%, even though every time the percent gets higher, I feel like Kabam's likelihood of doing it goes down, like the 95% energy resistance or energy damage Doctor Strange buff point. But I still, if you haven't seen that video, fantastic work by that summoner. Demonic Rage. Gain 100% attack. Gain an additional 2% of a bar of power while striking opponent or while getting struck. 5% chance to power steal the opponent every basic hit when you have at least one soul charge. Second Medium inflicts non-stacking incinerate passive, dealing 3,000 damage over 20 seconds and drains half a bar of your power. Incinerate passive also drains 0.5% of opponent's bar of power per second. Drain additional 0.5 percentage power per soul charge, max of 1.5% per second. Once the incinerate has expired, it goes on cooldown for 10 seconds or minus 1.25 seconds per soul charge. All specials are passively unblockable. I said this with Doctor Strange. I'm going to say this with this. The detail that goes into these videos is unbelievable. I am so honored just to be able to read these words on my channel. 75% chance to re-trigger once you feel a bar of power. Demonic Rage is a minus 55% chance to trigger against Science Champions and a plus 125% chance against Cosmic Champions. I'm guessing that's the Class Advantage perk. Demonic Rage also grants special attacks and perks. I guess he is the developer node for this. That power drain can come in handy, so I suggest saving soul charges to reduce cooldown if required. You know, like, these people are spending more time on this than my students spend time on their homework. Pre-fight abilities. Start quests with 2 soul charges. Gain 1 soul charge when knocking out an opponent. Gain an additional soul charge when knocking out an opponent with a special attack. Max 4 soul charges. Anti-Might. Heavy attack places a fate seal on the opponent for 10 seconds. Cooldown 3 seconds. 2 soul charges. Anti-Defense. Heavy attack inflicts up to 2 armor break debuffs on the opponent, each reducing armor rating by 300 for 10 seconds. 2 soul charges. Anti-Cleanse. Opponents have a 70% chance to purify a debuff. 2 soul charges. Anti-Life. Heavy attack places a passive specter on the opponent, reducing healing by 175% for 10 seconds. I never know when I read something like reducing healing by 175% what that actually means, but I'm intrigued. Cooldown 3 seconds. 2 soul charges. Anti-Denial. Gain immunity to power drain and power lock effects. 2 soul charges. Talk about utility, right? Like an amazing amount of utility. Developer note. Notice how each pre-fight can counter specific problems regarding specific classes. Purgatory is a force not to mess with, and you know it's serious when ellipsis follows that sentence. Heavy attack places up to 2 staggers on the opponent. Special 1, Demonic Frustration. Drain a bar of power. Inflict a Demonic Rage, which is inflicting a bleed debuff dealing 1,000 damage over 5 seconds. Demonic Anger. Burn up to 2 bars of power and deal additional energy damage proportional to power burnt. Demonic Rage. Inflict a degeneration passive dealing 7,600 damage over 6 seconds. Love that. Special 3, Demonic Fury. Inflict the following debuffs. We got a list of 4 different soul charge sentences. 1 soul charge, bleed, dealing 3,500 damage over 5 seconds. 2 soul charges, drain 2 bars of power over 5 seconds. 3 soul charges, incinerate, dealing 3,500 damage over 5 seconds. 4 soul charges, 100% chance to activate demonic rage for 20 seconds. So you want to build those 4 soul charges, obviously. Note, when you have 4 soul charges, you apply bleed, incinerate, power drain, and activate demonic rage. So it's all of the above. So it's not like, let's say you have 3 soul charges and only apply and incinerate. You also apply the bleed and power drain. So spend your soul charges wisely. To me, that just means don't hit that special 3 until you got 4 soul charges. Sig ability, Demonic Wrath. Gain additional 1,000 to 2,500 energy resistance when brought to or below 25% health. Spend 2 soul charges to regenerate 10 to 45% of total health. Okay, I don't think Kabam would go for 45% health, but hey, while we're putting on a wish list, might as well make it 50. Reduce damage taken from poison effects by 15 to 50%. That sounds like a plumber's window for coming over to your house to fix something. Gain 1 additional soul charge when knocking out an opponent. Developer note, she seems pretty good at a high sig. Well, that's an understatement of the day. Synergies. Love that he included this. Synergy with Immortal Hulk. Purgatory gains 25% chance per soul charge to gain an indestructible passive when knocked out. Oh, here's to you, Hela. Synergy with Guillotine. Purgatory Demonic Rage gains plus 15% chance to trigger. Synergy with Hela. Going to the 4th and final page. Potency of bleed debuff increased by 50%. Again, Kabam's pretty rare to have that higher percentage, but let's ask for it. Why not? Synergy with Morningstar. Purgatory gains immunity to Cold Snap and Frostbite effects. Now that would be amazing additional utility. Developer note, I have changed only the Purgatory side of synergies. The rest remain the same. I hope this does happen soon. I tried to make her as balanced as possible. I put the word balanced in air quotes clearly. Thanks everyone who supports this. I cannot say this enough as I did at the beginning of this video. This is the kind of commitment that makes me so honored and proud to be a part of this amazing community. You all take the time and energy to think of this kind of specific buff, not because you want to make money or because you want to get notoriety, but simply because you want to use my channel as an outlet to improve the champions that you care so much about. There is such passion for this game. People say all the time, Prof, do you think MCOC is dying? Now, yes, it's had probably the worst financial year that it's had in a couple years. But when you're passionate about the game, it's hard to walk away, particularly when you've invested so much time, resources, and yes, money for so many people into it. But this kind of passion really does inspire me. It's the same kind of inspiration I honestly had when I met virtually with Kabam Broccoli. He didn't do the interview with me because he was trying to have any kind of notoriety himself. He did the interview to remind people of how when champions are made, it's people who truly love this game, who love Marvel Comics, and who want people to really enjoy their creations. Kabam Broccoli called all of his champs like his kids, and he wants people to be proud of him, to enjoy him. And I feel the same way about these buff ideas. Even if they don't happen, it's still a really cool honor to be able to deliver your ideas. So this is our second buff idea. Both have ironically been Mystic Champ buffs. So if you have any idea for any other champion, maybe you want to bring your own Ant-Man buff idea since we didn't get that after all and Guillotine went first. Let me know and hit me up. But otherwise, I'm thankful to both these summoners for these ideas, and I'm honored to feature them on my channel.